Hello again, beautiful people. You know how you sometimes get those days when you're just like, oh, click, 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 things make sense. It's happening to me today. So, if you're in my Facebook group, you'll have seen that I posted an image yesterday of like the inside of a torus, yeah? And it said something along the bottom about our relationship with space and time is changing. And at the top, there was a little bit about learning to take care of yourself, because in so doing, you enable and allow and take care of other people. And that to listen to the speed of the universe that you, me, we are in at the moment. I thought that was so interesting, bearing in mind I'd literally 2 days beforehand really hurt my knee and had to slow down, like virtually to a stop. I was like, okay, what's it about? Because I know that knees are about forward movement, but in my terms, if I've got a really sore knee and I can't, walk fast, whatever, then there's almost like a mismatch of forward movement, yeah? So I knew it had to be about forward movement at a very different level, which, that's pretty obvious. So after I just posted that last video, and I highly recommend that you go back and look. If you haven't watched them, see the previous 2 videos I've done. One was on the autumn equinox 2021, and the other one was about this Pisces full moon and the spring equinox 2022. And this is like a third part, if you like. It might be more, I have no idea. Anyway, I suddenly had this piece of information about this autumn equinox being a portal. And so I was like, okay, how would I approach a portal? I would approach a portal really, really slowly, with respect and honour. I thought, that's interesting, because that is what my knee is making me do, is walk incredibly slowly. And in that incredible slowness, it's like I am completely slowing down time. And needing, in order to not feel like really frustrated, no, I need to get going and my knee hurts and I'm going to walk really peculiar to get there as fast as I can, I started to practice how slowly I needed to walk in order to walk normally and not cause too much pain with my knee. It was really slow. It reminded me of doing the Tai Chi walk, where the aim is that you go as slow as you can. Used to frustrate the hell out of me. Anyway, so I was getting into this really slow, and realizing that I was moving into like a different experience of time, and time is about space. So I was moving into a different experience of space. It was like it was opening up around me, like another universe or another world was opening up around me, because I had slowed down so much. and slowed my thoughts down and slowed my emotions down, just slowed everything down. And because I have a very active brain and I like to go da, 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 I remember two things. One is that at the equinoxes, time moves very fast. Okay, so at the solstices, at the top and bottom, it's like the sun's going do 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 do, and it almost stays stationary for a few days at the summer solstice, and then it goes do 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 do, like that until it gets to the bottom. Do. So time at the equinoxes, the sun, time, whatever you want to call it, is moving very fast. So that was one thing I remembered. The second thing I remembered was a conversation I'd had with a beautiful astrologer. If you're listening, Heike, remember this conversation where we were looking at the transition between Virgo and Libra that happens at the autumn equinox, and she's a Libra, so it's sort of like, you know, I think we were looking at her sun in Libra or whatever, and the opposite when the sun comes to the end of Pisces, and I spoke about this in part 1, and then it moves into 0 degrees of Aries, the beginning of Aries. What happens in that transition? Because it's the end of a cycle, end of a cycle, end of a cycle. Remember I said it's like releasing your last breath and then becoming at one with the consciousness. That's the very end of Pisces. And then in Aries, it's like this new seed of consciousness just goes whoop, and off we go again into the next cycle. So there's this, is it a gap? I don't know. Or is it a quantum leap, like on a spiral? We all have a different sense or a different model of how that is. For me, it's like a spiral. And we get to Pisces and we need to make or the universe or whatever makes a quantum leap to that first point of Aries, and then off we go again. So Heike and I were looking at this leap, this gap between Pisces and Aries, and then we were thinking, well, what about between Virgo and Libra? You know, what goes on there? Because that's opposite. It's like we're looking at that gap now. And this is what I've been talking about, isn't it, for the past 2 days? It's about looking at that point, that Pisces point, that end of Pisces point, from the perspective of the autumn equinox. And at this point, the sun, the full moon, the sun at the end of Virgo, about to move into the autumn equinox. And it's a portal. I just thought, whoa, it's a portal. The equinoxes are like a portal. And when we arrive at particularly the autumn equinox, it's like we're looking through the portal at that quantum leap, at that leap of consciousness that happens at the spring equinox. Now, what we see will be up to us as individuals, you know, what's going on in our lives, etc., etc. Our model of the universe, etc., etc. But I just thought that was so interesting that first we're being told that we're going through this change in our perception of space and time, that we're at the autumn equinox when there is a natural portal to the spring equinox, and that this the sun is moving so fast. So do we just go and just rush through and not notice anything, not experience that portal that's there for us, that's available for us? Or do we almost step out of time or move into space instead of time? Yeah, that's a better description. Move into space instead of time and look through that portal. Now, I don't know whether should be going through it or what. That might be part 4. This is where I've got to so far. I think actually we're going through that portal. Forget that last couple of minutes, that last minute. So we're actually in that slowing down, moving into that expanded space is the portal. So, thank you, universe, for hurting my knee. For myself personally, there's something about the need to look after our own physical bodies, because that's very Virgo. The need to look after our environment, that's very Virgo. Because we are looking towards that expanded consciousness of Pisces. It's almost like the portal is where I am focused on myself. It's all about me. It's all about I think this, I do this, it's like this, I believe this, I'm afraid of this, yeah? We do need to look after our physical bodies and our emotional bodies and our mental bodies, because we need to know that they will function without bothering us too much while we make that transition into that expanded space, into that more unitive whole awareness rather than the I awareness. That is the portal. And I was actually given that image quite a few days ago, because I was asking them about moving into a portal. What is this portal about? And I saw this expanded consciousness on the other side of the portal. It's one of the ways, it's part of this whole moving into a new consciousness, into whatever your description is, New Earth, 5D, whatever, however you like to describe it. It's part of the awakening. And the more of us that can just be really present with it, the more we can carry through as a collective, as a whole. And because Virgo is about healing and Pisces is about compassion, I just put a post on Facebook about the largest tree in the world, one of the sequoias in California, is under threat from the California fires, and the firefighters are doing everything they can to protect this tree. And if we spread that around, and we get like loads of people just sending blessings, being with that tree, being with all the trees, being with the firefighters, being with all the people who live in California, being with all our planet. We can effect change. We can expand awareness. We can initiate more compassion in the world. I love you all so much, and talk to you soon.